So the next thing is we need to talk about installation. So there are so many methods for installation. Okay, say the first method that we generally use is either by using CD or DVD, the way we used earlier, or maybe by USB or by hard disk. Okay, this is your first method. So any of the operating system you can install by CD, USB or hard disk by making the operating system bootable. Or in second case, you can also use the ISO image. That means the image format of operating system is ISO. You can use this image directly if you want to install this in a VMware or VirtualBox. So simply, ISO image means the image of operating system. You can install there. But this method is not being used by any company. The reason is because by using these methods, we need to install OS one by one. For example, let's say you have a CD or DVD and you have 400 computers. Okay, you have CD and DVD, or you have bootable pen drive, or you have ISO image, and let's say you have 400 computers. What about this now? So if you have 400 computers, you won't be able to install in a parallel way. Simply, you need time. Okay, so that's why a third type of installation came in picture, that is network installation. Okay, so we'll be creating our own network installation in near future. So network installation means your all PCs are connected with your LAN, and there will be one server. From this server you can install operating system as well. I'm not saying you are going to download it. This is your hardware. These are hardware. There is nothing, right? There is nothing. That means there is no operating system. So by using network based installation, we can have we can install them in a one shot. So that means you can install them parallelly. So you will save time and money. The protocol we will be using to install is FTP, HTTP and NFS. So these are the protocols. By using them we can install operating system here. Okay, so I think till now these are three installation methods we will be using. Okay, so if the installation methodology is all set or all clear, just give a response in the chat window with yes or no. Right, so anyway, I'm just waiting for your response. All three methods, right? So yes, we have this session. Yeah, there is a different story. We need to be on the same page rhythm. Okay, so just give a response in the chat window in a very quick way so that we can take it forward. Okay, now all set. Wonderful. There is one problem again. Okay, and what is that problem? For example, whatever method you use, either you use CD, DVD, or use your USB, or use your ISO image, or you use your network. Okay, any of the method you use, when you plug your operating system for the first time to the hardware, right, to the hardware, there is something. And what is something? Let's say I believe you all be having an experience of installation of any operating system. That means all of you might have experience of installing Windows 7 or 8 or 10, maybe any Linux based operating system, Linux based OS, any other experience, right? You might be having. If you have the installation experience, so let's say this is my CD or my pen drive, and I'm inserting it into the suitable port. When we need to select the from BIOS and everything, that's fine. So first screen we get that what is the language you want to use with this operating system, right? Then after this they're asking what is time zone. Likewise, in near future they will ask, click on next button, create user, create partition, format hard disk, and many more. So they have a fixed set of questions that you have to answer it. Okay, so that means either you use this method or this method or this method, this method, then you have to answer it. Yes, we are using this language, this time zone, this next button, user, partition, and many more things. So as a engineer, you have to answer that question by giving your input like a mouse or keyboard, whatever you want. Okay, definitely when you have 400 PCs or 500 PCs, you are not going to answer that question one by one. Okay, so here there is a program who is asking for questions. So my question to you is, can anybody tell me when you install any operating system, any OS in a particular hardware, then in your monitor screen you will be asked for number of set of questions by this OS, by this CD, DVD or pen drive, as we discussed above, right? So my question is, who is asking that question? Who? I mean, you need to tell me the component or the name of that program or something that is asking these questions: time zone, user, partition, many more things. Who is that? Right? So one answer given by Rhythm, maybe kernel. I don't know. I am not giving answer right now, but I'm just looking at your answers. So Akash is saying kernel, right? So of course kernel. Okay, so first of all, think before you answer, right? Definitely kernel cannot, because you have a DVD and inside DVD kernel is there. Kernel is not installed yet. Okay, so there is a program in every operating system that is going to ask all these questions, and that program name is installer. So every operating system has a program in their OS, we call it installer, and installer is something that is asking for what is username, password, partition, and many more things. So if you read about the installer in a much more detail, right? So right now I'm talking about any Linux based operating system you are going to install. So the installer of any Linux based OS is Anaconda, right? Anaconda. Okay, I'm just revising it again, maybe if there is a confusion. So let's say I have this CD of Red Hat OS. Okay, and I'm going to inject this CD into this hardware. Alright, into this hardware. So first, when I inject this CD into this hardware, every operating system has a program. We are calling it installer. The job of that program is to prompt for the questions for you. Okay, that means it will prompt question for you that you need to select time zone, keyboard type, and many more things. Okay, so every operating system has their own installer. So the name of installer in a Linux based operating system is Anaconda, right? So this is the program that is prompting those questions for you. So it is prompting the all questions for you, right? Why I am sharing this information? Because who is asking question? Anaconda. So let's say, as a developer or as a programmer, if you can write a code, let's say in Python language, in C language, in Java language, to answer the question of Anaconda or installer of any OS, then you don't have to answer it by your mouse or keyboard. So that means we are going to learn that how we can write a code or script in supported programming or non-programming language, so that we can answer the question of installer, so that when it will be selecting, asking for language, I'll be choosing this one. So where we were answering the question in 10 minutes, this time we'll be answering question in 1 second, because if you remember, we already know the questions. This is going to be installed, this or that, and many more things, right? So we can write a program that can answer the question of Anaconda even during the installation time. Okay, so the operating system is not there in the hardware, so the script we need to attach with the CD itself or with the pen drive. So whatever script will be creating will be attaching to this CD, so that it can question itself and it can answer also. Okay, are you getting my point? This is, we're not doing it right now, but this is something that I'm introducing to you, right? If this thing is making sense for you guys, just let me know in the chat window. Okay, so waiting for your response. So just give your response in chat window in a very fatafat way. Okay, I'm trying to make the pace as slow as I can, right? Chinmay, you're asking something, so please ask your question in the Discord, because it is really impossible to answer all the questions for now. Okay, so this is something that we can plan. Okay, now moving on to the next. So how we are going to use that? So the setup we'll be using, I have already discussed with the teams that either you guys use VMware or VirtualBox of your own choice, VirtualBox or VMware, or maybe any other virtual machine software like KVM or Microsoft Hyper-V, whatever software you want to use. So let's say you have your Windows or Mac based system, So here you can install this VirtualBox, VMware and KVM or any of your choice. And then on top of this, you have to install Fedora 32. Okay, number of reasons are there behind the scene, but Fedora 32. So I think, let me cross check it. Yes, it's a Fedora 32. Okay, and try to install it 64-bit version. Fedora 32, try to install 64-bit. Okay, from where you will get Fedora 32 ISO image. So Fedora download ISO. The official page by Fedora is getfedora.org. You go there and see the most recent is Fedora Cross 8664 and this one. So if you are having your ARM processor, in generally your PCs is having ARM, so you can use this. Okay, so you don't have to make your pen drive bootable or anything, just download this ISO file, because for installing Linux in any of the VirtualBox or VMware, we don't need to make it bootable. Okay, so ISO file will be all fine. So this link I'm sharing right now here, or maybe in Discord also. So tomorrow I'll open the Discord. So this image you have to download if you have laptops. If you have PCs, you can check your processor, then you can download this one. So I'm sharing this link in the chat window. Mentors can take that link and put it on Discord. This will be good for others. Okay, so I have already downloaded that 32 image. Now I'm going to show you the installation. It's very easy, by the way, but still I'm gonna show you how you can install Fedora 32 in your VirtualBox or VMware. Okay, so the configuration I will be giving will be very minimal. So what configuration will be giving is here. See, so as a beginner, it will be really great that Fedora 32 or maybe any lower version also, you can give around 2 gigs RAM. If you don't have, you can try with 1.5 or 1 GB, not more than 1 core CPU, and around 25 to 50 GB hard disk. Okay, ये आपकी श्रद्धा पे डिपेंड करता है कितनी आपके पास है. I'm sorry अगर किसी का नाम हो श्रद्धा तो देख देना. Right, so the number amount of storage you want to give is that one. So this is the configuration that you have to give to this. Okay, now I'm gonna show you the installation part. So myself, by the way, अपने बारे में तो बताया नहीं, and I'm Ashutosh Singh. I'm one of the contributor in Fedora community. ये मेरे image नहीं है. This is my link, and I'm working in open source community since long, and I'm not contributing that much in Fedora, but yes, I was one of the contributor in bug team sometime, right? Long time back, but these days in Docker and Kubernetes I'm contributing. Anyway, so yes, so I'm gonna use VirtualBox here.